So before I start this video, I'm just gonna say I live in Asia, and Asia is a very interesting place. The mindset that they have here is very hierarchical. It They value things that don't that shouldn't matter. That goes against the Bible in general in regards to looks. Um, they're very obsessive with skin color. They don't like dark skin. They want as white as paper. And it's just such a silly thing because they tie your value to skin color as well as your facial features. So if your nose is a little bit wide or your lips are a little bit big or your eyes may be a little too squinty, you're valued as less. And it's very strange. Um because in Asia, as we're gonna get into it here in this video, for South Korea, it's like their looks will get them certain jobs, which will then get them certain relationships. Like there is no just using your own will to go get what you want, go and talking to that person you like. Like there's none of that. For them, it's like if they want this job or they like this person, they need to have a certain status and a certain look. And it's just silly. There needs to be, I don't know if I should say this, there's just some countries in the world, there needs to be a good invasion. A good decent World War II style invasion where the men will have to suddenly become men, basically. So speaking of this topic, let's get into South Korea, shall we? And the complete fall of society that's happening there. This is, by the way, completely demon infested. These people with the self-mutilation of the plastic surgery, this is complete demon possession. I promise you this. Let's get into it, people.
Why are Korean men obsessed with beauty? In South Korea, your face isn't just your face, it's a spec, a product specification. And right now, Korean men are spending billions to upgrade their hardware just to survive the job market. 26 million men, about 0.5% of the global male population, account for roughly 10% of the world's male skincare market. They're punching 17 times above their weight. This is a $13 billion industry built on 4 social forces that turn appearance into economic survival. I'm John, and I spent 5 years in South Korea watching this unfold. Male students showed up to my high school classes wearing foundation and eyeliner. At first, I thought it was an anomaly. It wasn't. It was the leading edge of a cultural transformation. This isn't about vanity, it's about historical.
I can't imagine being a guy and wearing makeup. I did one time, but that was because I was in a little indie film. But just on your everyday outing, you have to put makeup on as a man. I just think the whole skincare industry as a whole is a scam. I don't believe that any moisturizer or serum or whatever truly makes your skin any younger or prevents any aging. I don't think if you took a person side by side like twins and one person put facial products their whole life and the other didn't, I guarantee you they would still look the exact same in regards to how old they look. The exact same, I promise you. I think it's all a scam.
Philosophy, brutal economic pressure, industrial engineering, and government strategy. In the next few minutes, we're breaking down exactly how Korea created the world's first mass male beauty culture and why it's spreading to your country right now. The twist? The flower boy isn't new. He's the peacetime normal, making a comeback after decades of suppression. And that comeback didn't happen by accident.
Right there, they call them flower boys. And that's real funny. They say it's the peacetime normal. That's what I'm talking. I literally said this. There needs to be a war. No peacetime, and you'll stop getting the flower boys.
My mom bought me this.
Today, Korean men use an average of 7 cosmetic products regularly. The Korean male grooming market is worth $1.2 billion, growing at 11% annually, nearly double the global average share at 31% compared to the typical 15 to 20%. Simply put, it's mainstream. The aesthetic driving all this? The Koreans call it got-minam, flower boy. The term emerged from the late 1990s from girls' comics. Today, it's evolved into chaosangpum, a blend of handsome and pretty. The look is tall, pale skin, pouty lips, sculpted nose bridge, flawless glass skin, lean but defined.
Yeah, I've had people ask me, and it was like a band in Korea, and there was like 6 of them, and they're like, which one's the best looking? And I'm like, they all look the exact same. You have to let me see them when they take all the makeup off, just like with women. Take off all the makeup, then let me see. You know, when I'm talking about their mindset is so fragile in this country. So, like, I have an aunt, she's from South Korea. All she would talk about is how she's poor and ugly. That's all she says. And she's not actually poor and she's not ugly, but that's just her mindset. Oh, I'm poor and ugly. And then she had a brother who was a K-pop singer. He was like a star, right? Well, he smoked marijuana and he got caught smoking marijuana. So what happens in South Korea when you get caught with drugs, your career is over, essentially. So his career was over, and instead of just going into the world as a strong man and getting a normal job, he offed himself. He unalived himself. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that.
This is Korea's dominant male beauty standard. But BTS isn't the beginning of the story. To understand why a pretty boy can be a national icon, we need to look at a 2,000-year-old philosophy that says your face is a mirror of your soul. And these roots didn't start in Korea.
For just $37, you can generate as many videos as you want and never have to worry.
Well, according to the Bible, that's not true. I've pulled up some verses actually, but you guys probably won't care to see them. But it's essentially saying that Jesus says it's not about your outward looks, but it's about what's in your heart and your soul. It's literally, there's a verse about your internal heart is what he looks at, and your spirit. Nothing about your looks. But there are some theories out there I've heard where they think how beautiful your physical body is how evolved your soul is from past lives. Where if you're a high level experienced soul, when you reincarnate, you'll be put into your body will just be more beautiful because it's a reflection of how powerful your soul is. Maybe that's what they're talking about. But again, I believe all religions are twists and inversions of Satan, and so I'm not shocked that that's what they teach.
Since the Han Dynasty, China's idea of a real man was about brains over bronze. They valued the scholar, someone who's refined and gentle, more than the warrior. Being handsome wasn't about being tough, it was about looking smart and composed. Late Ming and Cheng novels idealized beautiful, gentle male protagonists. During the
Yeah, until Japan invades and you're screwed. Many times that happened. These people should have been worried about being soldiers and not worrying about looks. So that when the Japanese samurais come marching in, or the Japanese riflemen from World War II come marching in, you're not completely screwed. But it's okay. Let's just worry about our pale skin.
Han Dynasty and the Tang Dynasty, China exported this Confucian system to Korea. Korea took these ideals and perfected them through the Sunbi, a virtuous Confucian scholar. And according to Neo-Confucian philosophy, the body is treated as morally significant. Not vanity, but expression of inner virtue. Your experience reflected your character. The ideal man wasn't a warrior, he was a scholar. While the West prized tough guys, Korea prized smart guys. Being handsome meant looking clean, calm, and educated. And we find this Confucian influence across the strait. Japan's Heian period featured male beauty standards nearly identical to female ideals. White powdered skin, small eyes, thin facial hair. Here's what most people miss. Both masculinities, the macho warrior and the refined scholar, have existed throughout East Asian history. They ebb and flow. In wartime, societies amp up warrior masculinity. In peacetime, refined scholarly aesthetics dominate. Ancient Greece and Rome showed the same pattern. Sparta promoted pure warrior masculinity, while Athens prized oratory and intellectual refinement. Korea followed the same cycle. The country's 1960s to 80s military masculinity wasn't some deep-rooted Korean tradition. It was Korea's Sparta moment, a post-Korean War exception that interrupted centuries of scholarly ideals. But this didn't appear overnight. To understand how we got here, we need to trace 3 distinct eras of Korean masculinity. And in less than a generation, Korea went from valuing the book to valuing the boot. Between the 60s and 80s was the rough masculine era. Park Chung-hee's military coup in 1961 militarized Korean life. Mandatory conscription created a proverb: you become a man once you go to the military. If you want to see what this looked like, watch Old Boy from 2003. Choi Min-sik's character embodied that rough, violent, macho masculinity that defined this era. From the 90s to the 2000s was a pivot where 4 changes happened at the same time. Democratization in 1987 ended military regimes. The 1997 Asian financial crisis shattered the traditional breadwinner role. Japan's culture ban was lifted in 1998, and Bishonen manga aesthetics spread, depicting sweet, sincere, passionate men. Then came the K-drama Winter Sonata in 2002. Hae Young-jun played a gentle, impeccably groomed intellect.
Dude, I don't know, man. When you start to see like everything's a psyop, this has to be a psyop. A lot of like big cultural things in the world, feminism, to name one, it's all psyops. And I feel like this is a psyop for the men in Korea. Suddenly they get anime showing men as basically near women, and then they start getting these types of movies where the men are more feminine. I think it's a psyop. I don't know.
Intellectual. The show created a pan-Asian soft masculinity trend with a nearly $3 billion economic impact. From the 2010s to now, K-pop going global accelerated everything. Korean men now spend 4 times more capita on...
And this is the thing where... Hang on, let me get to it.
From the 2010s to now, K-pop going global...
For these guys who are flower boys, what is going to happen when you're like this? Because I remember watching Squid Game Season 2. This guy's like in his mid-30s. And he only looks semi-young because of the makeup. But you can see here, like the receding hairline, the wrinkles around the mouth. As you get older as a guy, it's better to be more masculine than it is to be looking like a girl. It's not going to look good when you're 37, your hair's thinner, and you have more wrinkles, and you're going for the flower boy look.
Accelerated everything. Korean men now spend 4 times more capita on skincare than any other country. Netflix and YouTube became major distribution channels, with Netflix investing in 2023 $2.5 billion for over 4 years of Korean content. Beyond K-dramas, manhwa webtoon, and
Netflix invested that money. Then yeah, it is definitely psyop propaganda.
Korean anime-style content have begun capturing market share from traditional Japanese manga and anime, particularly among younger Asian audiences. Every K-drama, every idol appearance, every viral skincare routine video, they all feed the same ecosystem. Every idol appearance, every viral skin...
You see this right here. You see, with the hair up, the receding hairline, the no makeup, looks completely different. But I guarantee you when he's done with all the facial shit and his hair's all down and stuff, he'll look like the flower boy. But what he actually looks like, just like with women, is not what you see out in public. Gosh, you even need a whole cart back there of all that crap.
Skincare routine video, they all feed the same ecosystem. The flower boy going global. But there's something we haven't talked about yet. While the government tried to stop appearance-based hiring, they left one massive loophole open, and it actually made the problem worse. We'll get to that in a minute. The critical shift happened in 1997. That's when the Asian financial crisis hit. And looking like...
Yeah, could you imagine appearance-based hiring in your country? Like you just apply to Walmart and they won't hire you because you're a few pounds overweight? That'd be so crazy.
A refined scholar stopped being about virtue and started being about survival. That 1997 crisis restructured the entire economy and masculinity along with it. Lifetime employment vanished, competition intensified. Your appearance wasn't just about virtue anymore, it was your competitive edge. And quick plug, if you enjoy these sorts of Asian cultural deep dives, don't forget to sub.
Yeah, it's not even just South Korea. Like where I live in Asia, they too worry about looks so much. It's all marketing. And that's an effect of capitalism. Everything's marketing because everyone's trying to sell a product or a service. And when you have people there who are good looking, it, I guess, helps sell it more. Yeah, but I don't know if you guys notice. Do you ever notice like the better looking someone is, like the more shallow and stupid they are? I don't know if you guys think I'm stupid right now. That must mean I'm good looking then.
Since the late 80s, Korea transitioned from an agriculture and manufacturing labor-based economy to a knowledge-based economy. White-collar workers visibly earned more than blue-collar workers. Visual presentation became class signaling. You can't bother looking good working in a factory, but you can definitely look good as a salaryman. This is why appearance stopped being about cultural virtue and became pure economic calculation. In 2016, over 9 out of 10 Korean companies required photos on job applications, and they asked a whole bunch of personal questions that'll incur HR's wrath in the West. President Moon proposed banning photos from public sector applications in 2017. This led to the Blind Hiring Act of 2019, which still allowed photos, but banned requesting non-job related information, including about physical appearance, and this is for large employers with 30+ employees. Problem solved? Not quite.
Wait, they were asking about family members, and see, they're just trying to see what connections you have. And dude, I don't know. Sometimes I wish, besides the Middle East, I wish there'd be wars in other parts of the world, not just the Middle East. Jeez. Who worries about that stuff? Who are your family members? What's your skin color? How does your face look? And I'm not talking skin color like, are you a black dude or a white guy? I'm talking about in Asia when you're all Asians and you're all the same, but your skin's a little bit more paler than this other person, or you know, if you guys watch Tim Dillon, he said something funny one time. He's like, you know what America needs, because we're in all this woke nonsense. We need a good war with China, just a full-on ground war with China. This is what Korea needs.
Job seeker photo studios are still thriving. Imagine you're a job seeker in Seoul. You walk into Woori Tongnae, a studio that's been operating since the 1950s. You don't just get a passport photo, you get a rental suit off the rack. A makeup artist adjusts your face, multiple backgrounds, same-day digital editing that smooths your skin and sharpens your jawline. You walk out with a version of yourself that's been professionally optimized for hiring algorithms.
That's not you. Like where I work, where we sign in, on the TV, it shows our ID photo. Dude, there's these like Chinese teachers there, and they look Chinese and they're pretty, but then their ID photo does not look like them at all. It looks like the typical AI, like Korean looking, it's just completely fake. And employers would know this when you hire, or when they look at your job app, they'll see your photo and they already know you got it edited and touched up, and that when they see you, you won't look anything like this. And now all that, even if they're not smart enough to cognitively think this, in their subconscious, they're gonna feel like, oh, you're a deceiver, a liar, because you lied to me of what you actually look like. I don't want to hire you.
And HR managers. The cost? 5만 원 to 7만 원 for the basic shot. That's $30 to $50. Add hair and makeup, that's another 5만 원. Their marketing pitch is this: having your job application photo taken here increases your chances of getting hired. The problem is there's still a legal loophole. ID style photos are still perfectly legal for identification purposes. About 4 out of 5 Korean job seekers perfectly legal for
Yeah, and you'll see photos like this, right? But then when you see them in person, they look like a cow. Like literally. It's so ridiculous.
identification purposes. About 4 out of 5 Korean job seekers believe looks affect employment. And 2 out of 5 experience appearance-based discrimination when applying for jobs.
그것 때문에 좀 더 벗기를 두려워하는 사람들이 있는 것 같아요.
Yeah, so oh my gosh. Thank you guys if you are still watching this video. This is so funny. So let's just break this down here. Let's see. Okay, so we have someone with a mask on with his Asian eyes, and then when you take the mask off, it's this monstrosity. That might be why they're so afraid to take their masks off. Dude, where I live in Asia, I guess it's all, even this girl right here, they're probably interviewing her why she has a mask on. So many people wear masks. It's so annoying. It's such a mental disorder. It's so crazy. And I have, where I work with students, like they're all wearing masks. It's like, take it off. Why do your parents not tell you to take that off your face? It's building this insecure, weak mindset. And even this soldier here has a mask on. Take it off, dude. I can't stand it. And the thing is, they don't even look like this. Maybe like a couple, but the majority, if you take 100 people with a mask, 98 of them will not look like that. They'll look normal or good. It's so annoying why they wear masks. Take it off, dude. I would literally, if I was just walking out somewhere and I would just tell people, get your freaking mask off. And they just look at me like, oh, I would feel so happy doing that. Oh, it's just so annoying how they were. Like, this girl, why do you have a mask on, dude?
The human cost is severe. A study tracking nearly 3,000 young Koreans found that those experiencing repeated appearance discrimination had 3.7 times higher odds of poor health outcomes. The phrase lookism, 외모지상주의, in Korean literally translates to looks over everything. If millions of men suddenly need to upgrade their appearance to get a job, you don't just have a trend, you have a massive market opportunity.
Well, boys, that's another failed society right there. When you're just valuing looks over everything, that's a failed society, and you need to be, yeah, I'm not going to say.
And Korea built 3 specific engines to monetize that desperation.
Yeah, and did you guys know South Korea is the, I think, #1 country of self-unaliving? Crazy.
The Korean beauty industry is like a giant machine with 3 main engines that all power each other. The first engine is the K-pop machine, which effectively turns humans into products. Debuting a single K-pop group in 2025 costs upward of 7.5 million before they even perform. That investment doesn't just buy a polished performer, often it buys something much darker. We'll see the receipt for that in a moment. These trainees spend anywhere from 2 to 10 years being physically and professionally transformed. When a company decides a trainee needs surgery, the company pays for it as an investment. Scouts don't just look for talent. An attractive person is a basic requirement.
묘해요.
And like any product line,
Imagine like kids when they're 7 years old, like getting picked out by elites. It's just like America getting just targeted by elites. And this is a thing I saw too. It's these young South Korean kids. They see potential, or their parents are rich and have connections and they want their kids to be famous singers. So they get picked out, and then these old men or women invest in them by just making them, they're basically their controllers, their handlers. And what he just said, oh yeah, your nose is a little, so we're gonna put you into surgery to self-mutilate your nose to make it look better. Dude, so demonic. And then yeah, so then they're completely controlled most of their youth, just singing, dancing, probably not even collecting most of the money. It's the companies who are controlling them, who put them in that position, on that platform, controlling them, putting them under the knife in surgeries. And then around like 29, 30 years old, okay, bye, and they start over with someone younger and new. And then you probably have a lot of mental issues for those people who are now in their 30s and 40s who aren't K-pop singers anymore.
The industry engineered specific models to sell to different market segments. You have the flower boys, that softer aesthetic with sleek physiques and charming personas. Then you have the beast idols, the rugged, traditionally masculine builds with intense makeup and powerful bad boy vibes. Within those categories, they've engineered 5 specific persona archetypes.
It's not intense makeup, it's just spiked hair and piercing. It's the same makeup, just spiked hair and piercings. It's like 90s or 80s America.
To capture every possible fan obsession. Every aesthetic choice is a calculation. Archetypes.
Wait, boyfriend, cute and sexy, artistic, entertainer, mysterious.
To capture every possible
But they all look the same.
fan obsession. Every aesthetic choice is a calculation. The $7.5 million doesn't just manufacture performers, it often manufactures a psychologically fractured human being. BTS's Suga spoke openly about depression and OCD. His alter ego Agaste's lyric says, "On the other side of the famous idol rapper stands my weak self. It's a bit dangerous." Psychologist Ji-hyung Kim.
Yeah, when you worry about your look so much, if you give one of these people, just say something happened, they got a little cut on their cheek that turned into a scar, they would probably have a psychological meltdown.
Puts it bluntly, in most entertainment agencies, idols are treated more as commercial tools rather than humans. Korea's suicide rate is 26 per 100,000, highest in the developed nations. While appearance pressure isn't the sole cause, the relationship between lookism and poor mental health outcomes is well documented. I cover the suicide rates in Korea in depth in this video here, so check it out if you're interested. This is the dark side of the first engine. Along with manufacturing stars, it also manufactures pressure. But K-pop only creates the demand. The second engine, K-beauty, is what monetizes that demand at a global scale. Korean beauty companies looked at a market where women already spent heavily and asked, what if we could monetize the other half of the population? In 1996, Amore Pacific launched Odyssey, Korea's first premium.
It's like when the gaming industry in America was thinking, what if we could monetize women in video games and get women to play video games? And it didn't really work. But this worked in Korea, I guess.
Men's skincare brand. They weren't creating demand from scratch since the cultural foundations already existed. To keep this engine running, Korea built a massive research infrastructure. They have universities with dedicated cosmetics programs like Incheon National's Cosmetic Science and Management, or Sungkyunkwan's Biocosmetics program. And side note, Korea has specialized universities for everything. They even have one specializing in fried chicken. That hyper-specialization is why they're so competitive. Amore Pacific alone invests 3% of its revenue into R&D.
The fact is, we've come here right now. Millions of us lightworkers have incarnated on this planet.
With over 500
If you're specializing in fried chicken, you need a war in your country. Sorry, like, come on, dude.
researchers worldwide, this is serious science backing a $13 billion business. And K-beauty has amazing.
And if you guys disagree with me, there's, what was the story? It goes to the fall of Rome, right? When there's too much peacetime, and that saying where peace creates weak men creates problems, and then problems create strong men. So in peacetime, you get weak men, and in Rome, during the peacetime, that's when all the LGBTQ stuff started popping up in Rome during peacetime. And so you get crazy stuff like this, like scientists for fried chicken and makeup for boys. Okay.
synergy with the first K-pop engine. BTS's Jin
Oh, seriously, if any of you are still watching this video and you disagree with me, comment down below why. I'll respond.
Lanesia's first male global ambassador in September 2024, and the brand saw a 127% Black Friday sales surge. NTC's Gino shot a single pictorial for Apeu in February 2025, and social media searches spiked 357% year over year. Put together, they're a marketing machine. The third engine is the plastic surgery industrial complex. While the K-pop engine sets the standard, and the K-beauty engine for plastic surgery industrial.
All right, this guy's face. This is realistically what he looks like. Lips seem a little bit bigger. He's got the wrinkles around where the cheeks connecting to the lips, you know, around the nose, the mouth. Some kind of wrinklish around the eyes, but then when you put all the bullshit on his face, he'll look like a flower boy. And this guy looks good, but he's getting plastic surgery right now. I'm glad I wasn't born in that country, dude.
Complex. While the K-pop engine sets the standard and the K-beauty engine provides the maintenance, plastic surgery offers the permanent transformation. Seoul's Gangnam district alone has over 400 surgery clinics, earning its nickname, the Beauty Belt. While the gender distribution is still 3 women to 1 man, the male segment is the fastest growing part of the market, growing more than 50% in the last decade. Korea now performs 13.5 cosmetic procedures per 1,000 people.
Dude, there's more men getting plastic surgery than women? But when he says there's 3 to 1, is he talking about the population or the people getting the surgery? No, I think he was talking about the population. But anyway, Korea's population is, I think, #1 for how quickly it's going down, decline of the population. Because when you have flower boy propaganda all over the place, you think the women are going to settle for anything less? You'll take a 40-year-old Korean woman, she's still going to think, I want a flower boy. And you get a guy who's maybe an 8 out of 10, but he's not the 10 out of 10 flower boy, so they just won't marry. And then you get the extinction of your people.
The highest rate in the world. In the wealthy districts of Gangnam and Apgujeong, where 4 out of 5 of these procedures happen, around 3 in 10 of all patients are now male. K-pop didn't just create walking advertisements for a domestic audience, it became South Korea's most...
This is why, and
K-pop didn't...
you guys, you don't need to follow the Bible, it's fine, it's just my belief. You're not supposed to idolize idolatry, right? Because it causes problems. When you see things like this right here, where they're obsessing over a typical normal boy, but he just happens to be 1 in a million K-pop singers, it starts causing mental sickness in your country.
Just create walking advertisements for a domestic audience, it became South Korea's most effective export weapon. This domestic loop was so successful that the South Korean government decided to weaponize it globally. The strategy? Export the aesthetic, and consumption follows. This is why we see such massive, deliberate state investments. In October 2024, the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism, along with the Ministry of Science and ICT, launched a 600 billion won fund specifically for domestic production of movies, K-dramas, and webtoons. The Korean Film Council, which has been around since 1973, provides the training and research, while the Ministry of Culture provides the subsidies and tax incentives that help cosmetics companies go global. To make this experience tangible, the government even backed K-beauty experience centers in high-traffic areas like Myeongdong and Hongdae. Korea is now one of the only countries with a dedicated government goal to become the world's leading exporter of popular culture, and it's working. Hallyu fans now number 225 million across 119 countries, a staggering jump from just 9 million in 2012. The financial returns on this strategy are massive. Tourism is skyrocketing, breaking records. Korean cosmetics exports are around $12 billion in 2025, making Korea the world's #2 exporter globally, behind only France. In a historic shift, Korea actually became the #1 cosmetics exporter to the United States specifically, surpassing France. The United States now accounts for 55% of K-beauty's overseas online sales. At Ulta Beauty, the largest cosmetics retailer in the US, Korean skincare sales jumped 38% in a single quarter, making it the fastest growing segment in the store. But what does this actually look like on the ground? Beyond the billion-dollar funds and industrial machines, there's a human landscape that's shifting in real time.
Majority of guys who are unaware of this formula and do not use this formula, unfortunately, end up.
Yeah, again, I think the beauty industry is a scam. I don't think that the chemicals you're putting on your face changes anything. Yeah.
Ask a Korean man in his 50s about male makeup, and you'll get a dismissive response. Ask his 25-year-old son, and he'll pull 3 products from his bag without hesitation. The numbers tell the same story. About 1 in 5 of Korean men in their 20s now use makeup regularly, including foundation and eyeliner. Men in their 20s and 30s account for 70% of all male beauty sales. This isn't a niche subculture, this is the mainstream.
Hey, wait a second. Wait a
Of beauty
second.
sales. This isn't.
Dude, I think this guy's got makeup on. Shit. I see the glow around his eyes. I see the sparkle.
A niche subculture, this is the mainstream. But here's what makes this generational divide even more complex than it appears. Researcher Joanna Elfing Huang found that middle-aged Korean men engaged in grooming primarily for workplace harmony, not aesthetic expression. For them, appearance is about competence and professional survival. For younger men, however, it's increasingly about self-expression and identity. Same behavior, completely different motivations. And the contradiction is stark. Mandatory military service is
So basically, when you're old and ugly, you'll still wear makeup to fit the work culture. Okay.
supposed to forge real men through traditional masculinity. 2 years of discipline, hierarchy, and physical training. And yet, 7 of 10 servicemen use cosmetics. While most armies are teaching soldiers how to clean a rifle, the Korean military is inadvertently teaching them how to clean their pores. Cosmetics brand Tony Moly saw this paradox and leaned into it. They launched Camel Cream, marketed directly to soldiers.
Oh my god.
Entrepreneur Dino Ha put it this way: all guys who went through the military, you almost become a semi-expert in beauty. The institution designed to reinforce traditional masculinity has become a beauty school. And you see this paradox in stars like...
Can you imagine, like, you're in war and you're a soldier and you need to put like mud on you like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator to blend into the environment as camouflage, and your Korean buddy's like, hang on, I have this, and he gets this like military makeup where it's green, brown, black, but it's has moisturizer in it, and he just covers himself with the makeup instead.
Song Joong-ki. Babyface, but he can fight. He's well known from hits like Vincenzo and Descendants of the Sun. He served his mandatory military service, maintains a soft flower boy aesthetic, and plays action roles with ease. This is the modern Korean masculine ideal.
It's like it's like in America when we watch movies where there's like a female lead character who's beating up men 4 times her size. That's what I think about when I watch a little Korean flower boy with makeup acting as if he's a Green Beret. No, it doesn't. It takes you out of the realism.
Yes, and not either or. Gentle and strong, refined and tough, pretty and powerful. But not everyone is on board with this transformation. The Tao corset movement, escape the corset movement, emerged post-Me Too, with women destroying makeup, cutting their hair short, and publicly refusing to participate in beauty culture. They saw the flower boy phenomenon and asked, if men are now joining the beauty arms race, who benefits? The answer? Still the beauty industrial complex. And the
Yep.
backlash from men...
So is bait. I don't know. It seems like they're just mad, the girls, because they're like, we wear this stuff to look pretty, so boys will choose us. But now boys are doing that too. Now they're on our level. So what's the point? We're just spending more time and money. And he says it. Well, the beauty industrial complex.
has been just as intense. Roughly 2/3 of young Korean men in their 20s believe gender discrimination against men is now a serious issue. The rise in male beauty expectations has fueled resentment. Both genders are feeling trapped by escalating appearance demands. And here's the nuance that most outsiders miss. Scholar Roald Malianke points out that the flower boy aesthetic may appear effeminate to non-Koreans, but to Koreans, someone who fits the ideal can certainly be considered very macho. This is a distinctly Korean form of masculine competition, where beauty becomes another battlefield for status and dominance. And Korea is a canary in a coal mine for global change. The forces driving this transformation are already on your pocket.
I don't know, but in the combat world of MMA, boxing, all that, besides the Korean zombie, I don't see any Korean fighters ever. Maybe there's some in 1FC, but I don't consider these guys anything capable of real combat. I mean, look at this, dude.
On your feed with filters reshaping what you think success looks like. To understand the mechanism about this, we need a framework. French sociologist Pierre Bourdieu argued that we all have different types of capital, like money, connections, and status, and that they could be traded for each other. In Korea, it's a simple conversion. You trade money for a specific look, trade that look for better networks, and trade those networks for a higher salary. There's even a phrase that
So basically, you trade that look for better network. So basically, people don't talk to you unless you look a certain way. That's so shitty.
captures this reality. Cosmetic surgery has become one of the 7 credentials needed for employment. And here's the vicious cycle. Once everyone upgrades, the standard rises. Your investment doesn't give you an edge anymore, it just keeps you in the game. So the return on investment actually drops, forcing even more surgery, more products, more optimization. You're on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. So what's the top look in Korea to get the best return on investment? The answer is androgyny. It's a hybrid masculinity that blends traditionally male traits like
What?
strength and androgyny. It's a hybrid masculinity
Yeah, androgyny is when like you're like man and woman. Dude, this is Satan, I'm telling you right now. But why do they have to look like clueless zombies?
that blends traditionally male traits like strength and charisma with traditionally female ones like gentleness, emotional expressiveness, and refined aesthetics. Just think of how the yin and yang works to achieve perfect harmony. Modern idol culture across East Asia simply modernizes these old ideals, and it's been doing it for a while.
I don't think androgyny is that. I don't think it's like you're a man but you can be gentle. Like it's or you're a woman and you could be masculine though. I think androgyny is when like you're a man but you kind of look like a woman. Like there's this guy I used to know where he was like part Asian. He looks Asian, right? And he wears makeup. He puts this huge hair piece on. I think he sprays it like it's the 80s. He's a dude, right? And he talks with like this deep voice, but he looks like a girl. That's androgyny. It's not just having characteristics. It's like looking like it too.
Here's what makes this phenomenon less strange when you zoom out. Men everywhere use appearance to signal status. They just use different signals depending on their environment. American gym culture emerged when men could no longer assert masculinity through physical labor. So they turned to sculpting muscles as proof of discipline and commitment. In Korea, that same discipline is expressed through flawless skin. Same game, different rules. But here's the key difference. In a diverse place like the US, every subculture has their own signs of success. But in a more homogeneous
That would be so annoying if in life your obsession was keeping up with the largest organ of your body, which is your skin. Like keeping it flawless. Your skin touches everything, dude. It's exposed to everything. And your job is to keep it looking as good as possible, even though it's literally aging every day. It's in the Bible, dude. Jesus says, beauty is fleeting. It's going away. All these people you see right now in mainstream South Korea entertainment, in 10 years, these people will be in their 30s and 40s and will be out of the spotlight. And that's where you get the suicides and the mental disorders, because they don't know how to live outside of their beauty. And God, that would just be such a headache, just always worrying about your skin. Where I live, where they are obsessed with brown skin, like I had 2 ex-girlfriends who were Chinese. One of them was a white Chinese, right? She would always cover her body anywhere she went outside. Like she had this raincoat on, gloves, hat. It was ridiculous, dude.
society like Korea, the rules for looking good are much more unified. When everyone's playing by the same rules, the competition becomes much more intense. So is the flower boy aesthetic turning men into women? Researcher Go Woon-jung found that this isn't actually about men becoming less manly, it's actually the opposite. Men are now using beauty as a new weapon to compete and win in a brutal economy. We look at Korea and call it a disaster, We see the pressure, the surgery, the endless optimization, and yet most of us are polishing our own specs every single day. LinkedIn profiles, gym routine, personal branding, IG stories. The platforms change, but the game is the same. And remember how the face was once a mirror of the soul, a reflection of inner virtue? That mirror still exists, but we've edited so much, filters, surgery, optimization, that we no longer recognize what's staring back. The mirror isn't showing the soul anymore, it's showing the market. The real question is, when does the investment in your appearance stop being strategic and start being survival? I want to know, have you seen spec culture growing in your own professional life? Drop it in the comments. If you like this video, you'll like this one. And please like and sub.
Yeah, well, it was a good video. I watched the whole thing. Wow. 21 minutes. Sorry, guys, if you're here till the end. It's a good video. Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't born into a life with that brainwashing. Oh my gosh. Waking up every day worried about your appearance and your money, your job, your family, your relationships. Everything is related to how your skin is looking that day. Fuck that shit, dude. Man. All right. Well, anyway, if you made it this far, comment down below if you want to add anything or chat about anything. I'll respond because this is a small channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one.